Alright, what's up guys? Brian here, and this is my WWE SmackDown Live review for last night's episode of SmackDown. So let's get right into it. SmackDown emanated from Manchester. So let's just get right into the review. We saw a new champion crowned last night on SmackDown, and I'll get into that in just a moment. We started off SmackDown with Commissioner Shane McMahon, who announced that the winner of the AJ Styles Jinder Mahal WWE Championship match later on in the night will go on to face Universal Champion Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. So that was huge. He also talked about how Raw's General Manager Kurt Angle and Raw's Commissioner Stephanie McMahon would be held responsible for what happened to SmackDown Live General Manager Daniel Bryan last week at the hands of Kane. Of course, if you remember last week, Daniel Bryan made an appearance on Raw and was attacked by Kane in Kurt Angle's office with the lights out. And Shane also announced that Daniel Bryan would be back next week. So that was pretty much it for that. He then introduced the New Day, who talked about what they did on last Monday's Raw when they showed up. They would then be interrupted by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They would go back and forth, and this would lead to Shane making a match for the opening contest, Kofi Kingston versus Sami Zayn. This was actually a pretty good matchup. A lot of back and forth action in this one. Kofi picked up the win over Sami Zayn with a move from the top rope. Then Kevin Owens would jump in and attack, after the match, would attack Kofi Kingston until Big E and Xavier Woods made the save. Let's see what else. We had Rusev taking on Randy Orton, where if Rusev won this match, he would earn his spot on the SmackDown Live Survivor Series team for the men. And that did not happen. Rusev lost to Randy Orton after Randy Orton hit an RKO out of nowhere. So that was pretty much it. Who is going to be the last guy for SmackDown to join that team? We'll have to wait and see, hopefully next week. Let's see. We had first time ever, Becky Lynch took on James Ellsworth with the other female SmackDown talent watching on at ringside. This was kind of dumb. I mean, it was kind of a dumb matchup. Nothing against Becky Lynch, but this was kind of a dumb matchup for her to be in. She won with the disarmer, with her finisher, the disarmer. That was pretty much it. I mean, James Ellsworth, he tried to run away at one point during the match, but the women just stopped him, and that was pretty much it. Becky Lynch picked up the victory. We had a vignette of the Bludgeon Brothers, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. I don't know when they're going to debut on SmackDown on television. I know they had been wrestling at some live events, but when they debut on TV, I don't know. We had a backstage segment with Shane McMahon, Charlotte Flair, and Natalya. Basically, Natalya interrupted Shane and Charlotte talking, and this led to Shane making a match for next week for the SmackDown Women's title. Natalya defending against Charlotte, where the winner of that one will go on to face Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss at Survivor Series. So I'm intrigued what's going to happen in that matchup. What else? We had the Usos. They defended the SmackDown Tag Team titles against Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. Gable and Benjamin picked up the win in this one via countout. So the Usos retained their titles. However, from what I read, apparently Jimmy Uso, I believe it was, suffered an injury. He was he was seen limping to backstage. So hopefully it's nothing serious. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. As far as that injury is concerned. I know Sin Cara. I read that Sin Cara suffered I believe it was a knee injury over the weekend at a live event. So, after he scored 2 big victories over Baron Corbin, Sin Cara goes down with an injury, and now apparently Jimmy Uso suffers an injury. Let's see. What else? And of course, the main event, which was for the WWE Championship, and with also the winner going on to face Brock Lesnar, the Universal Champion, in that champion versus champion match. There had been a lot of talk about maybe Jinder Mahal maybe being injured. He did lose the championship last night on SmackDown to AJ Styles after Styles hit the phenomenal forearm. And what was an okay matchup? So that saw interference, or the Singh brothers trying to interfere, but they got phenomenal forearms for their trouble. Jinder Mahal hit the Colossus to Styles, but only got a 2 count, and then went to try to go for take Styles up to the top for the Super Colossus, but Styles countered and hit the phenomenal forearm to pick up the victory and regain the WWE Championship for the second time in his WWE career. So now AJ Styles goes on to Survivor Series to face the Beast, Brock Lesnar, the Universal Champion, in that champion versus champion match. So that was pretty much it for SmackDown last night. My overall thoughts on SmackDown, I was a bit surprised that they did the title change with Styles defeating Jinder. But I think Styles versus Lesnar is a way better idea for a match than Jinder versus Lesnar. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next week. How is Jinder going to react to losing the championship this close to Survivor Series? So now it's it's AJ Styles, the WWE Champion, versus Brock Lesnar, the Universal Champion, at Survivor Series Raw versus SmackDown. I was kind of hoping that because of what happened the last couple of weeks on Raw, with SmackDown invading Raw last Monday, and then 2 weeks before that, I thought that Raw would get a bit of revenge and maybe invade SmackDown tonight, but apparently that was not the case. So with that being said, I thought SmackDown was a pretty good show last night. I thought the WWE Championship match was pretty good, as well as the the Kingston and Sami Zayn match I thought was pretty good. So with that being said, if you guys watched SmackDown last night, let me know in the comments what you thought of it below. And what do you guys think is going to happen next week? Who do you guys think is going to walk out the SmackDown Women's Champion? And who do you guys think is going to face Alexa Bliss? Is it going to be Natalya, the current champion, the current SmackDown Live Women's Champion, or is it going to be Charlotte Flair? So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This has been my review of some of the things that took place on last night's SmackDown Live. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.